Saluton from BA. This is a Rorschach Multilateral update from the 14th of January 2025, a summary of what's going down in the world's major multilateral institutions. For our first story this week, on Sunday the 12th, US Senator Jim Risch, the top Republican on the Foreign Relations Committee, expressed confidence that the US will remain in NATO under President Trump's administration. He emphasized plans to bolster the alliance, noting that 23 out of 32 NATO countries now meet the 2% GDP defense spending target, though he believes this should increase. Risch also mentioned intentions to reinstate a, quote, maximum pressure, unquote, campaign on Iran, aiming to tighten sanctions and economically constrain the regime. The Republican Party has advocated for much tougher sanctions on Iran instead of negotiating with the country on key issues. For context, Trump has been critical of NATO and said he wants other countries to contribute more to collective defense. Trump's overall political message during both campaigns has been that the US should see its allies doing more of the heavy lifting in international relations. In other news, Ireland announced its decision to join in South Africa's genocide case against Israel at the International Court of Justice on Tuesday the 7th. The move underscores Dublin's deepening concerns over the ongoing conflict in Gaza. The Palestinian Foreign Ministry welcomed Ireland's involvement, highlighting the strong solidarity and historical friendship between the two nations. In response, Israel criticized Ireland's stance, with Foreign Minister Gideon Saar accusing the Irish government of crossing, quote, all red lines, unquote, and subsequently closing Israel's embassy in Dublin. Several countries have accused Israel of committing genocide against Palestinians, particularly in the Gaza Strip, citing actions during military operations that they allege involve intentional destruction of the Palestinian people. On Friday the 10th, President Marcos of the Philippines expressed interest in his country's bid for a non-permanent seat on the UN Security Council for the 2027 to 2028 term. He highlighted the country's strong diplomatic history, including its involvement in peacekeeping missions, and reiterated the importance of multilateralism and a rules-based international order for peace and security. Marcos emphasized the Philippines' role in fostering cooperation and compliance with international law, particularly in addressing issues like the South China Sea dispute. Being on the Security Council gives nations a platform to influence global decisions in a unique way. Members can shape resolutions, foster alliances, and prioritize national interests. Additionally, it improves visibility on the world stage, which lets countries advocate for their policies and leadership in global governance. The UN Security Council is seen as one of the most powerful and visible parts of the UN overall. On another note, the European Union expanded its sanctions against Venezuela on Friday the 10th, adding 15 individuals from the National Electoral Council, Judiciary, and Security Forces to its list, bringing the total to 69 people facing asset freezes and travel bans. The government of Venezuela, President Nicolás Maduro, dismissed these sanctions as illegitimate, viewing them as part of an economic war aimed at debilitating the country. The EU and US have both sanctioned Venezuela previously due to human rights and democracy concerns in the country. Despite these measures, Maduro and his supporters say that Venezuela has shown resilience, though they acknowledge that the sanctions have contributed to the nation's economic challenges. In Asia, Malaysian Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim began a 3-day working visit to the United Arab Emirates on Sunday the 12th to strengthen regional cooperation as Malaysia assumes the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN, chairmanship. During his visit, Anwar will attend the Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week and participate in a dialogue on energy and trade. The visit underscores Malaysia's commitment to promoting sustainable development and green innovation in Southeast Asia. The Philippines signed an agreement with Uzbekistan to support its bid to join the World Trade Organization. This milestone, signed on Friday the 10th, emphasizes their growing trade relationship and mutual economic opportunities. Being a World Trade Organization member grants access to the agreed trade rules of member countries and eliminates some barriers. Additionally, it provides a platform to influence global trade policies and negotiate favorable terms. For some news on multilateral cooperation, the Organization of American States, or OAS, and the Global Council for Tolerance and Peace signed an agreement on Wednesday the 8th to join forces in advancing global peace. Ahmed bin Mohammed al-Jarwan, the president of the council, described it as a historic moment, praising Luis Almagro, the OAS Secretary General, for his commitment to fostering tolerance and collaboration. Almagro highlighted shared priorities like democracy, human rights, and combating discrimination. The memorandum outlines plans for joint projects, professional training, and global events, aiming to spread tolerance and promote a peaceful future. Concerning oil markets, a report by Reuters from Tuesday the 7th found that the oil output of the Organization of Petroleum Exporting States, or OPEC, decreased by 50,000 barrels per day to about 26 million in December. The decline was mainly due to a significant drop in output from the United Arab Emirates, which faced technical maintenance in its oil fields and a reduction in Iran's production. This came as the OPEC group continued production cuts due to global demand concerns. Notably, Nigeria surpassed its production target, while Saudi Arabia and Iraq maintained steady output. OPEC postponed plans to raise production until April, although it is not known exactly how much production will be raised by. The World Customs Organization announced it had held a workshop to gain progress on Tanzania's integration into the African Continental Free Trade Area on Friday the 10th. The workshop and the Free Trade Area aim to facilitate more trade within the continent. The initiative focuses on streamlining customs procedures and promoting economic cooperation. Tanzania's engagement in the scheme is expected to boost regional trade by improving access to markets and reducing trade barriers. The World Customs Organization is similar to the World Trade Organization, as it assists countries by standardizing and simplifying customs procedures and trade efficiency. It also promotes cooperation between nations to combat smuggling, counterfeiting, and other illegal trade activities. For some more economic news, according to a report by the Economic Commission for Latin America and the Caribbean, released on Monday the 6th, in the first half of 2024, the Dominican Republic led Latin America in employment growth with a 6% rise in its workforce, driven by sectors like tourism and services. This growth lowered the unemployment rate to a record low. Other countries, such as Chile and Bolivia, also saw positive employment figures, while Costa Rica, Peru, Argentina, and Trinidad and Tobago faced declines. The Dominican Republic's diverse services sector continues to provide varied job opportunities, helping to shield the economy from future challenges. The Pan American Health Organization launched an interactive dashboard to monitor avian influenza cases in the Americas on Saturday the 11th. The platform includes data on outbreaks in humans, birds, and mammals, along with reported symptoms of people who contract the disease. The dashboard aims to improve preparedness by providing real-time information to public health authorities. The 2024 data highlights 66 confirmed human cases in the US and over 1,300 animal outbreaks, though no human-to-human transmission has been identified. To wrap up this edition, African leaders gathered in Uganda for the Comprehensive Africa Agriculture Development Programme Summit, which ended on Saturday the 11th. The aim was to adopt a new strategy for transforming the continent's agricultural sector. The new strategic framework, which covers 2026 to 2035, aims to address issues such as limited technology adoption, inadequate infrastructure, and poor intra-Africa trade. Uganda's vice president emphasized agriculture's central role in African economies, while the summit marked a significant step toward sustainable agri-food systems. And that's it for this week. Thank you for joining us. Would you like to be able to read the podcast as you listen to it? We are thinking of adding the text so you can follow along as if there were subtitles. Would you like that? Please write to info@rorschach.com telling us why you would want it. We want to make your experience more enjoyable. See you next week!